Right now, there could be billions of dollars of oil sitting underground, and we can find it without touching even a single drop. Here, exploration starts with a seismic survey. Ship tows air guns that send sound waves deep into seabed. Computers then read these echoes to map the rock layers. This is like taking an ultrasound of the Earth. If the map shows the right traps, this is where the oil could be hiding. And this is when we send exploration drilling rigs to take a peek. Fun fact, these exploration drilling rigs of Wildcats, while offshore, can cover more than $100 million. And sometimes it comes up dry. Finding oil offshore is like a high-stakes treasure hunt. And once we find it, that's where the real engineering magic begins. Imagine building a skyscraper, except it has to survive waves, storms, and salt water for at least 30 years. Here, project development kicks in after discovery, designing platform, subsea pipelines, and processing facilities. Different platform types, from fixed platform to semi-submersibles, are being designed depending on where the oil sits in the ocean. Every bolt, every weld, every cable has to be marine grade to survive corrosion. The logistics are wild. Modules are built on shore, shipped out, and then lifted in place by the crane size of apartment blocks. By the time it's done, you'll get a fully functioning energy factory floating in the middle of nowhere. And now that we've built it, it's time to make it earn its keep. The moment the first barrel of oil flows, it's like launching a rocket, except it never lands. Commissioning tests every systems, power generation, safety valves, control rooms. Drill production wells are connected to the platform. And when the moment the first oil is declared, money starts flowing, literally and figuratively. Early days are about stabilizing flow rates and fine-tuning equipment. This is the start of decades of production, but also decades of challenges. And in an offshore operation, challenges are just part of the daily routine. Working offshore is like living in a spaceship. Eat, sleep, work on the same floating island. Crews rotate, for example, 14 days on, 14 days off. Control rooms run 24/7, monitoring flow rates, pressure, and equipment health. Maintenance is constant. Corrosion never sleeps, and storm tests everything. Helicopters and supply boats are the lifelines for the people, food, and spare parts. Every day offshore is about one thing: keeping production safely. But all fields don't last forever, so we have to get to be creative. Getting the last 20% of oil is often harder than getting the first 80%. Natural pressure drops over time, so engineers use water injections, gas lift, or chemical EOR to boost recovery. We also upgrade by adding new wells, rerouting flow lines, or upgrading control system. Economics play a role. Oil price can decide whether projects get extended or shut down. This stage can make or break the profitability of a field. And when it comes to the economics stop making sense, the end game begins. Taking apart an oil and gas platform is like playing Jenga underwater with explosives. Decommissioning means plugging wells, removing equipment, and restoring the site. Wells are sealed with cement plugs to prevent leaks. Platforms are dismantled, sometimes recycled, sometimes turned into artificial reef. Costs can be massive, sometimes in billions, with no revenue coming in. But shutting down safely is just as important as starting up. And if we zoom out, the entire offshore value chain tells us a story of risk, reward, and resilience. Even in the age of renewables, offshore oil and gas isn't going away anytime soon. Offshore fields supply 30% of world's oil, and the technologies that we design today is making them safer, cleaner, and more efficient. Many of the skills and technologies from the offshore are now used in other offshore renewables projects such as wind and subsea renewables. So whether we see it as an engineering marvel or an environmental challenge, one thing's for sure: offshore oil and gas is one of humanity's boldest adventures.